Morning, Bande Matram, welcome all of you. We are going to discuss right now on surrender enlarges you. So that is the topic of surrender. So we are going to have a brief discussion on surrender. So the things we are going to take up for discussion from the mother. Sri Aurobindo mother quotes, true surrender enlarges you. True surrender. So surrender, we don't know what really the surrender is, what we have, what we are, what we ought to be, what we have, what we plan to have. Everything must be surrendered, must be given, and it must be surrendered and near the divine. So that is the point of surrender. That is the meaning of surrender really. So most of the time we don't know, we feel we have surrendered. Like most of the time we are quoting the term from Radha's prayer that was prayed by the Divine Mother. But I have kept nothing for you, everything I have given, kept nothing for you. So like this is a vague term because this is the prayer of the Divine Mother, but we are simply pretending in our own language, as per in our own style, as per the pleasure of our sake. So that is not the true thing. Anyway, we will quote the Divine Mother. True surrender enlarges you. By surrender, we mean, a mother tries to explain, a spontaneous self giving. Spontaneous self giving, there will be no force, no impulsion on you. A spontaneous self giving, a giving of all yourself to the divine. Giving of all yourself to the divine, to a greater consciousness of which you are a part. There is a greater consciousness, and you are the tiny part of that greater consciousness. Everything that is divine, and everything what you have, what you think, what you feel, what you have, everything must be surrendered near her. And it is a spontaneous, it must be a spontaneous self-giving. Again, mother quotes, a surrender will not diminish. Most of the time we feel, suppose I have got some 100 rupees in my pocket. I suppose, and I have donated somebody like 50 rupees. So what I have, and this is diminished, reduced. 100 rupees, out of 100 rupees I have donated 50, means only 50 is left. 100 minus 50, that is 50 is left with me. But here, while you are doing the surrender, nothing will diminish, but increase. This is the great thing between the material, staying in the material universe, and the playing, and of course dealing with materiality. We feel after giving, everything diminishes, but in the process of surrender, everything increases, nothing to diminish. It will not lessen, weaken, or destroy your personality. With the self giving, with the self consecration, with the surrender, so what will happen? Nothing will lessen, nothing will weaken, nothing will destroy your personality. And then on the contrary, what will be there? It will fortify and aggrandize it. It will fortify and aggrandize it. You will be in a safe position. Safe position, definitely. Surrender means what really this surrender is meant, because in simple terms, we are performing the yoga, that is yoga of surrender. So surrender means peace, total self-giving, free, nothing compelled. You are free, and freely you are total is giving, free total giving with all the delight of giving, giving for giving self. There must be a delight in self-giving. There is no sense of sacrifice in it. Don't think this type of idea is not at all suitable for you. It is not applicable to you, that I am sacrificing it. There is no point of sacrifice. It is a spontaneous one, and you are gaining the delight of self-giving. That is what the that expected. That is a symptom of surrender. If you give you have the slightest feeling, mother quotes, if you have the slightest feeling that you are making a sacrifice, most of the time I am sacrificing, I am donating, I am giving, like this. Many places we feel people are long before people are dead and gone, they have sacrificed, they have donated something for some organization, some institution, or something, some temple, for philanthropic work. And in the marble plate it is written, on the big letter it is written donated by this, and that must not be there. For that be you must not have the even the slightest feeling that you are making a sacrifice. And there is no longer a surrender. If the idea of sacrifice is much, even if it is in a petty or a little percentage is there, definitely it is not surrender. So without any slight hint of sacrificing attitude or sacrificing feeling, it is not fulfilled, not at all no longer surrender. For it means that you reserve yourself, or you are trying to give with grudging or with pain or effort. You are giving, but actually there is a compulsion. Some grudging is there. With pain you are giving, and you are trying to give with confusion. There is something, you are breaking down. You are not interested. There is nothing spontaneity, no spontaneity in it. Nothing spontaneous really. But actually, you are compelled to give. That's what you are doing, and have not the joy of this gift. This gift, when you are giving, that is nothing, no joy behind the gift. Perhaps not even the feeling that you are giving. That must not be there. If that is there, or some, even if it is with the slightest form, even if it very minute, minutely it is observed, then also it is not considered as a surrender. So when you do anything with the sense of compression of your being, when you feel that is I am impelled, I am pushed, I am compressed, be sure that you are doing in the wrong way. You are doing, you are compressed, you are forced, then mother course you are doing it, but doing in a wrong way. So true surrender really enlarges you. There is nothing confusion, even no resentment, nothing will be there. It is very much complainant, you will come forward. Be sure that you are doing in the wrong way. If there is compression, there is actually some impulsion, there is, you are forced, you are compelled, then naturally this is not the true way. Then true surrender actually enlarges you. That is what, when you give yourself, give completely, without demand, without condition, without reservation, so that all in you shall belong to the divine mother. And when everything is belonging to the divine mother and you have given, there is nothing be left to you to give in to any other power. So it is everything entirely you are possessed. Everything what you have, it has been possessed by the divine mother. So you are free. True surrender enlarges you. So increase your capacity. Increase your capacity. That's what mother expects from you. Increase your capacity. It gives you a greater measure in quality and in quantity. Both in quality and quantity, it will enlarge you. You will have a greater measure. So you will simply be enlarged, which you could not have had by yourself. After giving, you will feel more and more that you are enlarged, and nothing is confined, and nothing little small in you. This new greater measure of quality and quantity, both way, both in quality and both in quantity. When you give everything, you donate, you give, is different from anything you could attain before. That is the symptom. Before giving and after giving, that must be, there must be a measure, there must be a feeling, there must be an evaluation, there must be a comparison. After giving, you feel you are enlarged. You have this type of pleasure you have never attended before. You enter into another world, into a wideness. After giving, this is joy, joy of giving, delight of giving, that will push you into a feeling that you are entering into another world, a wideness which you could not have entered. This wideness, this delighted feeling, it is really unique. You have never felt. Then again, mother quotes, if you did not surrender, before surrender and after surrender. Before you surrender, you are in a static phase. In after surrender, you will feel dynamism in you. And if you will, before surrender, you are clumsy, and after surrender, you will feel widened. You will feel delighted. You will feel, elevated. Like this feeling is coming. It is as when a drop of water falls on a sea. Very interesting, very beautiful example, comparison by the mother. A drop of sea, a drop of water. and there is a vast sea, ocean of water. So when this drop of it had existence a drop of water, but it is very much confined, very much limited. When it is dropped in the ocean of water, it gets mixed, mingled, excited, widened, delighted, falls into the sea. If it still kept that separate identity after falling into the sea, so this identity is lost. If other quotes, if still it keeps its separate identity, it would remain a little drop of water, nothing more. But once it is mixed, mingled, and of course identified with the entire sea, entire ocean, it will feel that I am enlarged, I am widened, I am great. So a little drop processed by all the immensity around. It will be crossed by if it feels that I will keep my separate identity. Mother course, this little drop crossed by all the immensity around because it has not surrendered. Once this surrender is possible, it will simply, quietly, spontaneously mix with the vast ocean. Otherwise, if it keeps on the contrary, if it keeps its separate identity, then there will be, it will be crossed by all immensity around without surrender. This is the scenario. But surrendering, it unites with the sea and participates in the nature and the power and vastness of the whole sea. Once it is surrendered, it has given this drop of water. What it will do by in the nature, power, and vastness, it will simply participate and mingle and get united with the entire sea. No barrier, no breakage. If it keeps identity, naturally it will be crossed. So little bit will go forward for the second step. Most of the time, surrender and yoga. So already we have discussed two parts of the yoga we have seen. One is tapasya, I mean discipline. Second is surrender. Path of tapasya is ardas. You rely solely upon yourself, you proceed by your own strength. As per your capacity, your stamina, you will proceed, you will ascend. You will ascend and achieve according to your measure of your force. There is always a danger of falling down. That is the problem. There is always a danger of falling down. And once you fall, you lie broken in the abyss, and there is hardly a remedy because everything you have taken the risk. As per your efficacy and sufficiency, you will proceed, and nothing, no outward remedy, no help from outside. On the other path is surrender, safe and sure. It is here, however, that the Western people have the difficulty. They choose the not the surrender path of surrender, but they choose this tapasya. So they have been taught to fear and avoid all the threats and their personal independence. Like this, they go. That is what very much prominent in Western people. Again, Ramakrishna, and giving my mother is giving one example of Ramakrishna. He says he kept used to say, either the path of the baby monkey or the baby cat. Baby monkey holds the mother. Baby monkey holds the mother in order to be carried about, and it must hold firm. Otherwise, it will lose the grip. It falls. On the other hand, baby cat, what it does, does not hold the mother, but it is held by the mother. So no fear of nor responsibility. Nothing to do but let the mother hold. And you just hold you, and you just cry, "Ma, ma, ma." And the final phase we are going, surrender and yoga. Nothing can be done so far without surrender to the Divine Mother. So far, this integral yoga is concerned. Surrender is a decision taken to hand over the responsibility of of your life to the Divine. Surrendering to hand over the responsibility of life to the Divine. Without this decision, nothing is possible. Nothing can be done without surrendering to the Divine Mother. She is all, she is the beginning, she is the end. So there is no other way. So if you don't surrender, the yoga is entirely out of question. No chance. Entirely out of question. Everything else comes naturally after you and after this surrender. Surrender first, then something else. For the whole process starts with the surrender. Without surrender, nothing is possible. Second, Everything precedes it. Third, whole process starts with surrender, nothing, only surrender. You can surrender either through knowledge and or through devotion. Through knowledge or through devotion, there are two methods. You may have a strong intuition that the divine alone is truth, and a luminous conviction that without the divine, you can't manage. Only the divine. That conception, that conviction must be there. Or you may have a spontaneous feeling that this line is the only way of being happy. There is no other go. Only have to be happy. This is the only feeling. The strong psychic desire belong exclusively to the divine. So what you have to do? I don't belong to myself. That is the first criteria. That must be the best feeling in you. I don't belong to myself. You say, give up the responsibility of your being of the truth. Then comes the self offering. I am nothing. I can do nothing. I belong to not to myself. Then comes the self offering. Here I am, a creature of the various qualities, good and bad, dark and enlightened, and offer myself. I am to you. Mother, O divine, I am a mixture of opposites. Means various qualities like good, bad, darkness, and light, dark and enlightened. I offer myself at this point of time, at this juncture. I offer myself. I am to you. Take up me with all my ups and downs. Again, to ups and downs. You take the responsibility. Yatha nijuktosmi tatha karomi. So, conflicting impulses and tendencies, everything you take up to whatever you like with me, you do. I am here to carry out thy will. Let thy will be done. Jatha nijuktasmi tatha karomi. As if you have heard the beautiful comments, lines from, Mahabharata. Nimita matra bhava sabyasachi. So, tatha nijuktasmi tatha karami. With that surrender, spontaneously you have to give yourself, and divine will take proper care of you, and there is no other way. Go. Only solution is surrender. Bande Matra.